So before I go home and shuffle for Capricorn, I just want to reveal the message that has been downloading within me concerning the fact that our forecast is that our sun is in the zodiac sign Libra, and our moon is in the zodiac sign Capricorn. And all day I have been getting download about love and happiness. Those who are single and have been waiting for love, love is coming into your existence because we are in Capricorn moon. And so if you are a Capricorn, this should be able to resonate with you, but it is also for the collective of emotional desires, okay, that everyone under the sun and everyone in this moon um, wants is love. You know, our emotional desires is love. And those who are in relationships, I am perceiving that there's going to be a change if you do not feel satisfied in your relationship. I am intuitively perceiving um, a new energy of love sweeping in to satisfy your soul, to satisfy your emotions, to satisfy you spiritually and physically so that you are satisfied with long life. And so I really believe we are in the universal sun energy of love, and that love is going to shine light on our heart's desire to be loved the way we want to be loved, the way we desire to be loved in our relationships with people that we have built families with people that we are connected to and considering as prospects for relationship. So, yeah, I can't wait to get home and see what I shuffle for uh, the sign of Capricorn, because us being in the moon of Capricorn, this is going to bless all of us as a collective under all of the signs. But Capricorn, you especially need to be encouraged because you are Capricorn. Okay, so this got to be poured into you as you're able to pour it into others connected to you. So I'll see you when I begin to shuffle later. So I have been given a message about the four winds, and I just woke up and saw a vision of the winds blowing. And excuse me, I just woke up. I'll be all kinds of coughing and whatnot. Okay. The winds were blowing in my vision, and I heard a voice from within me with my own voice say that a new wave of love is coming into your existence. And in the vision, it was me that was speaking it to the universe, to the collective, under every sign, and reiterating it or connecting it with the fact that our moon was entered into Capricorn, and thinking, where is it now? But um, I didn't get a chance to do a reading on Capricorn. I will do a reading just because the connection, I just feel like there's a connection, with that. Like the message for Capricorn moon, or the message for Capricorn has a lot to do with the connection or the synchronicity of the message that needs to get out to most of the light workers that are in a certain phase where it's time for them to receive a new kind of love. I have like allspice under my tongue and stuff like that. So if you see black stuff, is I'm not nasty, okay? It keeps my mouth allspice and cloves. I keep them in my mouth, although they're black and they look like I probably chew or whatever. It's very good oral hygiene. So anyway, you might see it on my teeth and things like that. So please excuse me. So there's a new wave of love coming in because of the heart's cry of of the chosen ones. Okay, the light workers, the people who are waking up and coming out of dogmatic religion into the toleration of love. Love is very tolerable. Dogmatism is intolerance. The love of God is not dogmatic. Unless it has to be, I guess. Sometimes you gotta fix your face like flint. You feel me? But it's very merciful, kind, flexible. The love of God is peaceable and kind and gentle and flexible. I know I said all that, but that needed to be reset. And so a new way of love is coming in to our existence. And I remember the message that was given to me with our sun being in Libra, okay, and our moon going into Capricorn. The message was about the four winds, and I think that's why I saw the four winds, because as the winds blow from the north, you have the moon in a certain phase. You have the moon in a certain phase that is either Capricorn or whatever sign the phase the moon is in, because when we think of moon phases, we're thinking of crescent, we're thinking of waxing crescent, waxing gibbous, we're thinking of all things like that, right? But the signs, the phases of the moon. This stuff in my mouth is distracting me. I'm gonna brush my. Okay, so I had to brush my teeth because y'all do not need to see my oral hygiene with the, you know what I'm saying, the cloves in my mouth and the, anyway. So, the moon being in the phases that they're in, they change about every 2 days or so. And those phases are in certain zodiac signs that come with a message for that zodiac sign from Divine Army. Okay, and when it was in Capricorn, it may still be a little bit in Capricorn. I have to check the forecast for you, and then I will let you know the forecast. And I'm still going to do a Capricorn reading. But the message in Capricorn was basically for the collective as well as the Capricorn, but it needs to be poured into the Capricorn, okay, as Capricorn being the cup, okay, that a cap was on, and a cap of intolerance was on that cup, okay, but I'm seeing a vision right now that the cap is being taken off so that that cup can be turned upside down and pour into the collective, energy wise, the message from the Divine Army about not really about, but the message that Divine Army has for us and wants to pour into us as a collective. The message of, I'm answering your prayers. I'm answering your heart's desire for true love. And I think that's why I saw the winds blowing in our favor. And the message was coming from the zodiac sign Libra being in our sun, that the when we prophesy to the four winds, the what do you call it? Okay. The four elements will be our allies, okay? And that's connecting in my mind with the fact that the moon goes into different phases, okay? And as the moon goes into the different phases, we have the elements of those zodiac signs working into our favor. And so if the sign is a earth sign, we have the dust kicking up, you know, in order to put out fire, or we have people who are seeds being planted, growing, financial situations growing. We are like seeds being planted to grow, and so many different examples of that is, you know, like how it was when we was in our mother's womb, right? Before we were born. So a lot of us are being a lot of us are being newly born, okay? We're becoming new creatures because of the shift because of the paradigmatic shift in our vortex. We are meant to become new creatures, but we've been planted. And because we've been planted in Mother Earth, because we've been planted in this dark place, in the soil, in the good soil of the Word of God, the messages that are coming from Divine Army. We're growing, but we're growing in a place that sometimes, if misunderstood, we consider ourselves stuck. And the only reason why we're stuck is because we're growing. It's like being, you know, a caterpillar in a cocoon. You're not meant to fly until that process, that cocooning process, is done. And so we have our moon phases in the earth sign to give us that lesson. And bear with me because I'm trying to get these messages out and communicate it. When we have our moon when we have our moon phases in the signs that are air, it means that the winds are blowing in blessings and new opportunities and new kinds of love into our lives to either move out, you know, the undesirables, the toxic relationships, the old ways of thinking, okay, in order for us to receive. And, you know, the wind, we breathe that in, okay? And so if the wind is blowing a new kind of love into our existence, then we're breathing that in, and it's affecting our bodies, and it's making changes to our bodies that sometimes make us think that we might be sick, you know, and it's not that we're sick. We're coughing up old crap, basically, if we find ourselves sneezing or coughing, or if our bodies is going through certain symptoms that make it seem like we are sick. It is because a transformation is happening in our bodies so that we can elevate into our new beginnings, our new way of thinking, and as we are becoming new creatures in order to operate in that new thing that's blowing into our lives. Okay, and when the moon phase changes and we end up in the zodiac sign that is water, it's because cleanup needs to happen, purification needs to happen. Even with fire, a certain type of a certain type of purification needs to happen, to where things can't just be moved up and purified and stay the same. Things have to be destroyed. Anything that is not of the love of God, it needs to be destroyed in our relationships and situationships, in our bodies, in our ways of thinking, and in the ways that people think of us. Those who are connected to us and those that are connected to us, those things need to be sanctified with fire and not just purified with water. Okay, and water also represents when we are in the water signs, it represents a message pouring into our lives when it comes to Let's see. When it comes to whether we need bitter water, okay, like the water of the sea, to purify us, or we need ocean sweet water, okay, to purify our bitter waters and make our bitter waters sweet, right? And so the moon phases bring a lot of different message and ally with the things that we are prophesying to the four winds. And when we are prophesying to the four winds, it is our heart's desires and our prayers and our lamentations of the heart, okay, that is crying out to self, higher self, crying out to God who is us, God who is universe, God who is sun energy, God who is the energy of all of the elements, God who is the energy of the wind that blows. And the wind is another element also. Wind stands for spirit. Okay, wind also stands for. So winds basically stands for the fact that a new wave, a shift is happening, and it's blowing in and out in order for us to be what we need to be, in order to receive what we need to receive. And it's coming from all the four, it's coming from north, south, east, and west. And all of that depends on the phases of the moon and what zodiac sign our sun is in. Okay, and so this is the download that I've been getting about this new wave of love coming into our existence and what its purpose is, and how the other allies of the elements of God is working all things in our favor, so that we can become new, so that we can be reborn, so that we can become new creatures, so that we can be given new names. Okay, a lot of us are feeling compelled to change our names depending on the moon phases. Sometimes I feel like I am identified as Violet Fire Keys, always something with the keys, okay, keys to the kingdom, right? And so sometimes I identify as Lady Wisdom, Lady Wisdom Keys. Sometimes I identify as Keys Beatifics. And every now and then I'm changing, the titles to my YouTube page and this and that. And I'm like, why? Why can't I just be settled in one name? It's because I'm not just one thing. Every time a paradigmatic shift happens, I am giving a new name, because I am being reborn again into the existence that I am supposed to have in this shift, in order to work all things together for the good of myself and the universe. Okay, and that's all of our jobs, that's all of our purposes on this earth, to constantly bring change as the wind does, and when it's blowing from northeast, west, and south, as the moon phases change, as they go into the different zodiac signs, and as monthly uh, the zodiac sign of the sun changes. Okay, this is all a communication. But right now, beloved, the collective message from Capricorn, from the cup of Capricorn, okay, is that a new wave of love is coming in. It's a different kind of love that is going to make new our relationships that we are already in. Our existing relationships are going to bring into our existence a new kind of love that's gentle, a new kind of love that's tolerable and non-dogmatic, a new kind of love that is kind and not nice. Okay, and that's that air. The air sign represents the swords in the tarot, and swords represent conflict. Swords can represent truth. Okay, swords can represent enlightenment. All right, and so that sword energy is coming in with these air signs. All right, that sometimes, even though this new wave of love is non dogmatic, in some way it is when it comes to getting rid of old toxic, all right, energy that needs to be moved out of the way, cleansed by the water element, that needs to be, buried so that it can grow into something new. Okay, so it's a whole lot. I hope I was able to express that well. Have a blessed day, and always remember, pick up these pearls and rock them, beloved. Don't trample them. Peace. Okay, so I just looked at the forecast and we're going into Aquarius, which is an air sign. Winds, swords, conflict. Talk. Wow. And I woke up with that message about the winds blowing into our existence, new love. Amazing.